The CenterWare AVRS stands for Advanced Voice Recording System, and it is the call recording module that accompanies the CenterWare Contact Center suite. It can also be sold as a standalone module, and as you can see, is also a web interface. You just simply point your URL to the correct address, and you get the login screen. At this point, you simply put in your username and password, and the system will come back with a myriad of different criteria that you can use to filter through recordings and go through the recordings that your call center or that your company has recorded in its operations. The typical search for most call recording systems is the date and time range, which is also part of the system. However, you will see that we can find recordings by many other different criteria that are specific to a call center as well. Starting with the time, date, and range, we can simply choose a specific recording that we'd like to find, a specific hour or a specific date and maybe time that we want to filter. After we've done that, you have other criteria that you can use to filter the recordings, such as whether it was an outbound call or an inbound call, or in this case, both. You can also filter call ID, again for inbound or for outbound, or call key, which would be the customer number in the customer CRM system or databases that you use as integrated with CenterWare. You can also filter your recordings by specific campaign or ACD group. So whether it's outbound campaigns or inbound ACD groups, you can filter by specific group that you want to monitor or that you want to find recordings about. You can also filter by specific agent or even a specific disposition. And again, dispositions may be different for outbound as opposed to inbound. So you can find those specific recordings only for the dispositions that were set. The system can also enable us to do specific searches by workstation or extension. And additional criteria may include a specific number that was dialed, the DNIS, which may be specific calls coming in through a 1-800 number, a call length, so I can filter calls that are less than 3 minutes, for example, or I want to maybe see calls that are between 3 minutes and 5 minutes, or even have a call that is made, I want to find calls that were made manually by the agents as opposed to through the predictive dialer. So once I have decided on all the criteria that I want to research, I click on the search button. In this case, the system came back with 148 recordings. Again, these recordings will show whether the call was inbound or outbound, the specific ACD group or campaign, the disposition or the way the agent classified any specific call, who the agent or the person that took this call was, their workstation or extension, the date and time when the call was received, the length of the call, the phone number that made the call or to whom we called, DNIS, call key, callback, and whether the call was made through the predictive dialers or whether the call was made manually, or whether the call came in through the ACD groups. Once I have selected a specific call that I'm interested in listening to, I can simply double click and the call will display in the player.
Thank you for calling customer support. Now this is Ben. How may I help you?
Hi, my name is...
Okay, from here I can select any specific piece of the call. I can email the call as a WAV attachment or an MP3 file. I can also score the recording. I can also save it as a WAV file or as an MP3 and export the table to Excel. If I want to score the recording, I simply click on the score button and all the information about that specific call will show up, such as the shift, who the supervisor was when the call took place, what the number that was called, etc., etc. From here, I can look at specific results that I think were important for my agent to touch on, and I can grade them on that, such as presentation. The answers can be numerical, they can be yes, no, they can be a text answer. At the end of it, it'll assign a value, and at the end, a total grade for the recording. I can send this report to the supervisor, and I can also send it to the agent so that they can further improve their training or quality assurance. Other things that I can do with the system is monitor the resources, how much hard disk space I have left on my system. I can set up my templates for the recordings, etc., etc. This is the CenterWare Advanced Voice Recording System. Thank you.